Today we are going to paint this beautiful lily pond with ducks. Any acrylic brand is fine. I use Camlin. So you can use the board or canvas, anything. Okay, so here is the basic sketch and plan. These lotus or lily leaves in the pond, we can plan like this. And I'm drawing the ducks. Look at this, I'm drawing the body first, which is a bigger geometrical thing. Then I draw the neck and head for the body. So planning 2 ducks in the right side and 1 in the left. And these leaves, size of these leaves are getting smaller. Just for difference, the neck I'm making it smaller for this duck in the left. So progressively these leaves are getting smaller, and there is going to be the reflection of sky in the water, blue, and maybe one side, in the right side, I'm going to make it a little more darker. I see this regularly near my place in Chennai, Pallikaranai. There is a lotus pond. There are lotus as well as there are lilies. More I see lilies, white lilies, beautiful white lilies. So I'm taking the cerulean blue, taking a little bit of that using palette knife, keeping it in the ceramic plate. I use this ceramic plate, it's quite easy to clean it. Now I'm taking Prussian blue and a bit of white also. So this normal cerulean blue, I'll use it for the sky reflection, and Prussian blue for a darker thing, and some light variation for, I'll use it white. Now flat brush, number 8 flat brush I'm using. I'm fond of this particular brush. This is Daler and Rowney. These bristles are a little longer and quite easy to use. I start applying backgrounds. In acrylics, you go by layer, so we don't have to worry about those ducks as well as the leaves. Let's work on the water reflection first. So I'm applying cerulean blue in the middle, then mixing this Prussian blue, darker blue, and trying to apply in the top area. In the bottom, I'm adding a little bit of white to it, mixing freely, and I'm not trying to fill quite uniform. Somewhere there will be light blue, somewhere normal blue, somewhere dark blue, and all that. That will look more natural. On the right side, I'm directly using my Prussian blue, so trying to create a darker thing, so darker reflection of the water, and that will make a nice contrast for the ducks. So in between, I'm mixing light blue and dark blue, just touching, handling the area between the dark blue and light blue with the mixture. So by and large done. Now few dark blue lines I will make it over the light blue, and few light blue lines I'll make it over the dark blue. So being this stretcher canvas, I usually paint in the sides of the canvas also with the same color. So it will look better when you put it in the wall or display it. You don't have to frame it for these stretched canvases. So I see this pond and ducks almost every day in the place Pallikaranai near in Chennai. There is a lotus pond and there are big and small ducks. These ducks are quite brave. They don't run away when you go close to them. Okay, so now as I said, I have added a little bit of white to the blue, then added these light blue lines. Now I'm making some lines with the dark blue. So this is how we create this nice background. Over this we are going to make the leaves first, then the ducks. So the normal regular green, it is written deep green, permanent deep green. Then I'm taking permanent deep yellow also. So I'm going to mix both of them and create color for the leaf. So always have a cotton cloth. So it will help you to clean the brush. In the brush, sometimes when you take it out of the water, there will be always excess water that you can remove it with the cloth. So now I have taken white and yellow and green. So this is number 6 brush I'm trying to use, flat brush. So this is more of green, little more of yellow and little bit of green. So I mixed and trying to apply. So I use very less water generally. So if required, you can add more water. If the mixture becomes more sticky, you can add more water. So now every time the mixture combination is different. Now for the leaf in the right is more of yellow. See that? So all the leaves need not be shaped or contained within our canvas space. So in the left side I made one circle, appears like one edge of the leaf that we are seeing. And sometimes if it is dilute and it is against this blue background, it will not be very strong, the color will not be strong. So you need to wait for it to dry, then you can apply the color again. Then it will be more stronger against the background. I just referred our plan and sketch. So on the right side there is going to be a lily. Then there are the ducks going to come. So this is the plan, and so I've added these leaves. So if required, I can add more leaves later also. So now so I'm adding white to the yellow. So instead of using a thick yellow, I'm adding some white and I'm trying to add those veins, kind of those lines in the middle of the leaf. I'm using the thin flat surface of the flat brush. So I would be making these light lines, and with the pure green I will make a little darker lines also. So together it will look more real. So now I've taken the cerulean blue, the background color, blue color, and trying to create the gap in the leaves. Most of these leaves look like that. They are not fully elliptical or circle. There is a gap, so I'm trying to create that gap using this. Some places I use cerulean blue, some places I use dark blue. So it's a quite easy way of doing it in acrylics. So you don't have to add a lot of details for the leaves but for So now I'm planning the duck. So I'm focusing on the body of the duck. So it's going to be this big. So first I'll do only with white. Then later we can add some shadows. So the head, a small circle for the head, and the chest comes in the front for this duck. A thin line, little curvy line for the beak. So I will make the beak yellow and work on some shadow a little later. So sometimes when you apply white, it may not be thick, it will be a little diluted. Maybe you have to wait for it to dry, then you can apply again. So twice if you apply, that will become fully white. So I'm trying to make the neck of the second duck a little smaller, trying to create some variation. Maybe the beak can turn to other direction, but so these two ducks are looking at the left side, and there is one more duck I'm planning in the left side that will be looking at the right side. So that will create a kind of dialogue. So the head of this duck I'm planning, the neck is very small. So that's it. So this is kind of masking or placeholder, or we have reserved this space for the ducks. So some shadow I want to do. So probably one duck, probably the one in the left, I'll make it more of brown color, but for those in the right, so I'll make it more of white. But the shadow, I'm just starting to apply the shadow. First I'm applying this brown. So the brown I mixed with some white. So when you mix with white, it loses its strength of the color. So that is what I want. So I marked the shadows like this. So now this dark blue I have taken and just applying over the brown what I have applied now. So instead of applying this dark blue directly, so I have applied this light brown, then I'm applying that. So just to make little warm color to the duck. So I will make the duck in the left more darker, more of brown, and so I can work on more leaves now, but before that I'm going to work on some shadows. So we can always work one by one, and darker shadows we can work after some time, then you can again work some lighter shadows. So making the shadows more darker. So still now I'm using the flat brush number 2. So as I said, I'm starting with the darker shadow. A little later I'll add some highlights. You can use the round brush, or for me this flat brush is more convenient. It holds more paint, and so I can make longer lines, thinner lines also using the flat side. So my brush has a lot of water, so I have to remove that excess water by touching the cotton cloth. So this shadow for the leaves is very important, essential. So that is going to create nice depth. So there could be a possible reflection of some plants nearby, so which I have done now with dark blue. Now I've taken my number 1 very thin round brush. I'm just making a mark for the eyes of these ducks. Just making a small touch for the eye. This yellow, instead of taking yellow directly, I've mixed some white to it. So I'm applying for the beaks. So with the dark blue, some more fine tuning of the shadows and some fine details we can add. mixing white to the blue, and this is for the reflection part of the duck. So I'm trying to add more white because this is not good enough to match the brightness of the duck. Just trying to define the neck portion, and mostly I make those horizontal lines. So these ducks are moving around, so there must be ripples. You can make this elliptical curves using the flat brush. So making the ripples around the ducks, it's quite easy to make. Just be more confident and just make these thin lines. I use number 2 flat brush. And already the paint has decreased from my brush. Just with the available paint, I just made those thin lines. Time to add more leaves now. So I'm adding more leaves with the yellow and green mix. Would be adding few more lilies also. So now these leaves I add can be on top of these ripples also. So I see these ducks regularly. In the pond next to my house in Pallikaranai, Chennai. So I'm planning to add more lilies to complement. So it will be interesting to see these white lilies and these white ducks. And look at the way how I make it, the symmetrical thing. So there is a line to the right and line left. Then these lilies are easy to draw, and the middle line also I drew and few petals in the bottom. So the same approach as we did for the duck. So I'm just making everything in white. I'll be adding some shadows with white added to blue. I'll do it a little later once it dries. Then the lilies of various sizes I'm adding. So now I'm applying white color second time, so it is becoming more bright. small ones at far. Now looks like there's a nice balance of lilies and leaves and ducks. So these lilies, most of them are in the core, in the center, yellow in color. I've added that. Just adding some, I want to add a little bit yellow to the ducks. So this yellow plus light brown and a little bit of white I added, and making these ducks a little more colorful. Okay, now so this Prussian blue, I add a lot of white to it. I'm using that for the petals in the shadow in the lilies. There is another mix wherein the blue is little more darker, that I am trying to use it for few more shadow lines. So sometimes I use the dark brown, burnt umber, and mix with the dark blue to get a rich darker color. So I'm just thinking if I can add few more lilies. This is good enough, I guess. More than that, it will be cluttered. So I'm stopping here now. Trying to create mixing dark brown with the dark blue and making this darker color. It's almost like a black, but it is a deep blue, So I'm using that for the shadow of the leaves, and will be using for the shadow of the flowers also. So in acrylic you can work on layers. So you can go on and do the fine touches and final finishes. So acrylic is quite flexible. Hope you enjoyed painting this. So it is a little more challenging to use the thin brush because it is going to hold only very less paint, and there has to be enough little wet and water consistency, so you need to mix it well, and you need to, and brush also dries up very quickly, so you need to make it wet. So if you can master the small brush, then you can master acrylic very easily. So some fine shadows and fine lines I'm making with the number 1 round brush, small one. Okay, I'm trying to sign my name. I'm Muralidharan Alagar, artist from Chennai. So I take art classes also. You can check my website to see my series of artworks and art classes. My site is cuckoo.in, cuckoo.in. So this is after this cuckoo bird. See, this is a cuckoo bird I'm drawing now. So cuckoo bird is me, and I like to be there, stand over the leaf and talk to the ducks. Trying to add few the water droplets, so which is very easy thing to do. Some highlight, you can mark it, then you can work on some shadow. It's very easy thing to work on. So you can visit my site cuckoo.in and check all the details and share with your friends, those interested in learning acrylics. So I take monthly art classes. I take sketching, then oil pastels, watercolors, acrylics, even figurative drawings, portrait drawings. So let me know if you're interested to join art classes. So this is the fine shade adjustment and fine shadow for the water droplets, and few lines for the lines in the leaves I have added. Adding some more shadows for the ducks. Final finishes, and with this light setup, there is a lot. I clearly see there is a lot of light reflection and glare for the camera. So after finishing my artwork, I take a photo, then do the color correction. So have a good day, celebrate this life, enjoy art. So it looks like this after color correction. The same style I did this painting also. So both together look like this. Have a good day. Kindly subscribe if you like this video and share with your friends.